Parsons in for his final pit stop as they go to work on the right side of that car. The fuel going in the left rear. Tires are on. Car's full of fuel. There goes Phil Parsons out. Neil Bonnet had positioned himself just ahead of Phil, also making a pit stop. And as we see Phil going back out onto the racetrack, Neil Bonnet also gets that car rolling, although it's very slowly down pit lane, and he too will go back into the race.
I feel a little bit slow getting up to speed back there, but it takes a little while now, I guess, to go in again. Now, Rusty Wallace has moved back into the top 5 as a result of all of these pit stops. We're not sure, though, if he'll be able to go the rest of the way. How about it, Dick Berger?
Well, they're not sure either, Ned, to tell you the truth. I asked engine builder Harold Elliott if they could go all the way, and Harold put his fingers together like it's going to be very, very close. Then I snuck a peek at the computer. Computer says, they're going to come up short by about 6 laps. So will they roll the dice and try it? We'll have to stand by and see. The national championship could hang in the balance. If Rusty runs out of fuel and can't make it back to his pit, that could be the end of their hopes. If it works, it could be a good thing for him. Jerry, what do you think?
Well, they are concerned up here in the Kodiak pits, and they are pitting right beside the Z-Rex pits of Alan Kulwicki, and they are very, very happy here in the Z-Rex pits. And the reason, not only is Alan running well, but you know, all the pit stops they had early in the race, all the trouble they had with the cut right front tire and the lug nut problems, and they are now running second in the field. A panel of experts at every Winston Cup race will pick a mechanic of the race, an outstanding performance by our crew chief, and they have picked Paul Andrews, 31-year-old crew chief for Alan Kulwicki, as the TRW mechanic of the race. His first time ever to win that, and I tell you, it's great because they only have about 3 or 4 full-time employees, and Alan Kulwicki's going to be awfully proud of this young man.
An honor well-deserved on the Kulwicki team.
Right now, Ricky Rudd is running about 8 seconds ahead of Alan Kulwicki, who is running in second position, and Bob, for the last 5 or so laps, that hasn't changed too much.
Now, Rusty Wallace is running 4th, and Bill Elliott is running 5th, so we undoubtedly, if they continue to be the way they are right now, will not have a decision on who's the Winston Cup champion this year. 45 more laps to go in the Checker 500 here at Phoenix International Raceway, and what's been a tremendous weekend of activity here at the racetrack, with thousands of people turning out for this race. We had a good crowd on hand yesterday for the Southwest Tour race that we'll have later this week here on ESPN, a race that was won by Jim Thurkettle. The race here this afternoon being led by Ricky Rudd. Second is Alan Kulwicki. Third is Terry Labonte. Fourth is Bill Elliott. And in fifth, fourth is Rusty Wallace, and Bill Elliott is in 5th spot. Ricky Rudd looking for his 2nd win of the 1988 season. This was his 322nd career start. And as far as career wins are concerned, he has won 9 Winston Cup events. Moving to the inside and passing the number 52 car, driven by Jimmy Means. And from our mountain cam outside of turn number 4, we have a panorama overall view of this 1-mile D-shaped oval here at Phoenix as Rudd goes into turn number 3.
He's still maintaining about a 7 9/10 second lead over Alan Kulwicki, who is running in the 2nd position. We'll check him again this time as he goes across the start-finish line. And Kulwicki coming off of turn 4. Kulwicki has been in some traffic recently. He's coming up on Darrell Walker now, and he's still about 7 8/10 second behind Ricky Rudd.
Rick Wilson was involved in this crash down on the main straightaway. However, it did not stop him from competing in this race. He took the front end off the car, but he's still out there on the racetrack picking up some Winston Cup points. Dick?
Bob, that wins my vote as the most bashed up car to return to Winston Cup racing in 1988. The whole front end of that thing was torn out from the crash. The radiator was way back into the engine. The fan was gone. Front end components were gone. These guys have done an incredible job getting this car back onto the racetrack. You can see a little piece of pipe on the front. That's what used to be the front bumper. That's all pushed in. Almost everything from the firewall forward is crooked, twisted, but he's out here running it well over 100 miles an hour. It's a tribute to both the crew and Wilson. This is the never give up, we never quit attitude we've seen in Winston Cup racing in 1988, and it's very, very refreshing.
Well, Nick, there's a group of drivers back there that are battling to stay in the top 20 in the Winston Cup point standings. 20th place in New York on December the 2nd will pay $20,000 in point money. Rick Wilson, Michael Waltrip, Dale Jarrett, Dave Marcus, and Richard Petty are all trying to get in that top 20. They were separated by just a very few points, or less than 100 coming into this race. So that's why they put this car back together to get out and make as many laps as he possibly can. Dale Jarrett's already out of the race. Richard Petty's already out of the race. Michael Waltrip has had trouble. So he's just trying to gain as many points as he can. Now, certainly he's not running at full speed. He's running at a pretty good clip out there, though. And he's driving it at a pace that I would say certainly is safe as far as he and the other competitors are concerned.
We got a shot of Michael Waltrip's car a little while ago, and his isn't looking real great either, but it certainly is in better shape than the Rick Wilson car. Now we see the number 5 car that has been lapped, so there are 8 machines now on the lead lap, as the number 5 car of Jeff Bodine was running 9th, but now goes a lap down. The next car that will go a lap down, the one running in 8th position, is the 28 car, driven by Davey Allison.
So Ricky Rudd just continues to put the competition away here in the Kenny Bernstein Quaker State Buick. I had a feeling, Bob, that he'd run good on this racetrack.
Well, I did too. He was my second choice as winner before this race started. I thought maybe that Rusty Wallace had the strongest car, but that has not proved true. And my second choice to win this race was Ricky Rudd, and we're certainly not over yet. But Rudd has led the most laps this afternoon, and I think has proven that he has been the strongest throughout most of the first 275 laps. Excitement, speed, Phoenix, and NASCAR. We're here for the Checker 500. Back at Phoenix, where Ricky Rudd continues to set the pace. And again, we remind you that toward the end of the race, in just a few more laps, as a matter of fact, we'll be announcing the Goodyear Eagle driver of the race. And Goodyear will be giving $1,000 to the Winston Cup Racing Wives Association in that driver's name. Bill Elliott is in 5th position, while Rusty Wallace is in 4th spot. So if the race were to end right now, the way they stand, Rusty Wallace would gain 10 points on Bill Elliott in the battle for the Winston Cup, because Rusty has picked up 5 points for leading a lap today, whereas Bill Elliott has not led. And he would also get 5 points for finishing 1 position ahead of Bill Elliott. And so Rusty would pick up 10 points, and they would be separated by 69 as they go into the final event of the year at Atlanta in 2 weeks' time.
Well, Bill Elliott again has been a model of consistency here today, Bob. He's running in the top 5 in 5th position at the moment. And we mentioned at the top of the show that he has, in the last 15 races, has finished in the top 10. In fact, I think we'll go way back into 1987, since he's had a mechanical problem that has put him out of a race. He did have a crash in the first race at Atlanta back in March of this year, but he has not fallen out of a race since a race at Pocono last year with mechanical problems. So he's just driven very nicely and smoothly here today. Kept the car in contention, now running in the 5th position. Harry Gant running in 6th, not too far behind him. You can see Gant coming into the picture back there.
Well, Jerry Punch is down in the pit area to talk with Ernie Elliott.
Well, gentlemen, you said it was a long time ago. In fact, it was at Pocono last year. They had their last mechanical failure. And I'm with Ernie Elliott. And Ernie, again, you guys are a model of consistency. You've been consistently running well throughout the year. And here today, a good, strong top 5 right now. If the race were to finish right now, you would only lose 10 points. How's the car running? How does Bill feel?
Well, you know, right now he's just trying to hang on. The car's been a little bit loose all day, and we just not got it in. And we lost a lot of time early because of a cut tire, and we've just never been able to make it up.
Ernie Elliott here directing the effort for the Coors Melling team. They had that early pit stop, and they got back in traffic, and they almost got lapped. They were within 2 seconds of being lapped by then leader Rusty Wallace. So that's when they escaped that one. And here they are just running in the top 5, trying to finish the second 500.
If they do go to Atlanta separated by 69 points, it's going to take a very strong finishing position by Rusty and a very poor finishing position by Bill Elliott in order for Rusty to win the Winston Cup.
Yeah, the statisticians will figure that out, but you're right. It would be a lot of positions that would have to be made up by Rusty Wallace, and Bill Elliott would simply have to have trouble for that to happen.
So it appears as if we will go to the final race of the year in Atlanta before we will decide who wins the Winston Cup in 1988.
Well, Ricky Rudd continues to lead as we watch Bill Elliott continue to circle the track, and we put the clock on him again. Here's Alan Kowicki crossing the finish line. Now he's gained some. The last time we clocked him, he was about 7 8/10 seconds behind. Now he's only 6 6/10 seconds behind. So Alan Kowicki has picked up about 2 seconds on Ricky Rudd.
Second position is Kowicki, third Labonte, fourth is Wallace, and fifth is Bill Elliott. And we are 285, make that 286 laps that have now been completed.
In the sixth position is Harry Gant in the Skoll Bandy car, and in seventh is Davey Allison. Now those are the only 7 cars on the lead lap. Ricky Rudd is about 100 yards behind Davey Allison from putting him a lap down, but Allison has been able to maintain that position or that distance between he and Rudd for the last 10 or 15 laps.
So we see Rudd, Kowicki, Labonte, Wallace, and Elliott running in the top 5, and Gant, Allison, Hillen, Bodine, and Parsons in the second 5.